Welcome to Western Kentucky University. I'm Bill Scott, and this is going to be a very short double bass tutorial on the all-state music for the state of Georgia, for the private schools in Georgia. We're going to divide this video up into three sections: your scales, your arpeggios, and then of course your prepared piece. Now, with scales, most bass players learn scales by doing all of the shifting on the G string, very little on the lower three strings. Let me give you an example. One of the scales that you have to play is the G major scale. And that works okay, but there's a better way to actually finger it, because you also have to do the minor scales. So I have what we call universal shifting blocks, and I have universal fingerings. So I basically use the same fingerings for the G scale and for the F scale, and the shifts stay the same for both of them, as well as for their melodic partners. So let me give you an example. I'm going to play the F scale with my fingering patterns using universal shifting blocks. Now, let me explain how we do this. Every time I cross a string, I shift my hand 1/2 hand width. So when I'm ascending the scale, I shift my hand a 1/2 hand width north, and when I'm descending the scale as I cross strings, I shift it a 1/2 hand width south. As I cross string, I'm going to go a 1/2 hand width north. One more string crossing, another 1/2 hand width north, another 1/2 hand width north, and then coming down, a 1/2 hand width south, another 1/2 hand width south, another 1/2 hand width south. Now, the nice part about fingering scales with these shifting patterns is that you shift exactly the same way for minors. So let me do the major scale, and then I'll follow it up with the minor. And here's the melodic minor, same shifts. Exactly the same shifts. Now when I do the G scales, same thing. Before I demonstrate those, let me talk to you about the universal shifting blocks. If you'll notice that on the E, A, and G string, I play 4 notes. And so the shifting pattern there is a 1.5 hand width. So I'm starting in half position. So here's a hand width shift. I'm going to actually shift a 1.5 hand, and I do that on each string. I do that on the E string, the A string, and the G string. When I get to the D string, that's the one shift that's a little bit different. That's only a 1/2 hand width shift. Let me demonstrate with the G scale. That was a 1.5 hand width shift. Another 1.5 hand width shift. That was the 1/2 hand width shift. And another 1.5 hand width shift. And of course, if you do the melodic minor, same shifts, they stay the same.